Are you thinking about living in Powell River, British Columbia, and you're curious about what it costs? Well, in this video, I'm going to share everything from the cost of housing to the cost of gas right here in Powell River. I'm Matt Bien with Royal LePage Powell River, and welcome back for another video where I talk all things Powell River. In this video, I'm going to break down the cost of living in Powell River. I work with many people who move here, and this is one of the first questions they ask. So if you were wondering about some cost of living questions, I'll give you some bottom line numbers right now. If you're not familiar with the area, you'll probably appreciate what I have to say here. First, let's talk about the obvious, the cost of housing. One of the first things you're going to need to decide is, are you going to be better off buying or renting? And then what kind of housing do you need? Are you single? Do you have a family? So the price of housing varies, and if you have any additional questions, I'm happy to send you some more information, but here's some general baseline pointers. The average 3-bedroom single-family home in Powell River is roughly $700,000 to $750,000. A 2-bedroom in the same area would run you roughly $450,000 to $500,000. Now, if you were looking to rent in the same area, to rent the average 3-bedroom single-family home is roughly $2,500, and renting a 2-bedroom in the same area would be roughly $1,600. A good rule of thumb in pricing is that it tends to get more expensive with a view or some acreage versus living in a subdivision. Next up for expenses would be property taxes, which, depending on where you live in Powell River, you can expect $4,000 and up pre-homeowner grant within city limits. However, if you manage to keep out of city limits, taxes become much more affordable and range between around $700 to $2,000. And with those numbers, I'm talking annual. So I hope that gives you some ideas on the cost of living in terms of housing. Now let's take a look at some other costs of living here in Powell River. The annual income tax is the same as anywhere else in Canada, and it's a graduated scale. Currently, gas here is $2.19 to $2.29 a liter, and yes, you will need a car. Gas isn't cheap anywhere these days, but sometimes we do end up paying a little bit more in Powell River due to our isolation. Another thing I wanted to mention is that when buying a home, there's also some additional costs that people don't always expect. When buying a home in British Columbia, all sales require that the buyers pay property transfer tax, or PTT. PTT is a graduated tax. It charges 1% on the first $200,000 and 2% on the amount between $200,000 and $2 million, and 3% on the amount between $2 million and $3 million, and 5% on the balance after $3 million. On new homes under $750,000, you don't pay PTT, but you do pay a 5% goods and services tax, or GST. On new homes over $750,000, unfortunately, you do pay both 5% GST and the PTT. When buying or selling a home, there are also lawyer's fees involved in the transfers of title. Depending on the specific purchase or sale, I tell my clients to typically budget around $1,500 for this. Well, I hope this video gave you some insight on the cost of living here in Powell River. Powell River has many options when looking for a place to live. We have homes and building lots in all shapes and sizes. Whether you want to live out in the sticks or right smack in the middle of town, there's a place for you here in Powell River. And don't forget to subscribe above, and for any more information on Powell River, check out my other videos or visit my website, mattbienrealtor.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Bien with Royal LePage Powell River, and I'll catch you on the next one.